Today I watched Extraction 2. It was a pretty good movie, some pluses and some negatives here and there, and I think it's a pretty slept on franchise to be honest. So it's 2 hours long and it doesn't really feel dragged out because of the action. It jumps straight into the action at the opening and it's just sick. And compared to how long it is, that's why it doesn't really feel dragged out. And the plot is pretty decent at that, and it shows us how like Tyler survives his injuries from the previous movie, and if towards the ending of that movie, if it was really just a blur of that person, and it's basically about him extracting and protecting someone from prison, part two. So yeah, this movie adds like some depth to Tyler Rake's character and the effect his past had on him, as well as like the relationships that he has formed over the years. It fleshes that out like a bit more, and I believe it also introduces a new character by the name of Yaz, who is a member of Tyler's partner Nick. Yaz is probably like my second favorite character from the movie because like you know he's with the gang. So yeah, now as far as acting goes, it was pretty mid, not necessarily bad, but it was kind of stale. And I also think like Chris Hemsworth didn't really get enough material to work with. Like he didn't really. There was not enough drama and not enough comedy for him to really show how good of an actor he is. So it was just kind of like there. It was nothing because of the action as well. And kind of like Keanu Reeves in the John Wick movies, they're just mostly action. So he only says like one word, yeah. So it's something like that. And the plot, again, as I said, is pretty simple. Not really a repeat of the previous movie, but along those lines, and a little bit generic. And the person that Tyler's extracting has a child who is just incredibly annoying throughout the movie. But maybe you can see like why he is that way, so you can kind of understand why he does certain things. But like, yeah, it's just annoying. It's triggering at that point. And the negatives that I was talking about is that I just don't want it to be the same movie over and over again with different characters. So I don't know if that's the direction that this movie is heading in, but I could kind of see certain things like that in the movie, and I don't want it to be like a repeat over and over again. And I hope that the sequel can be like something really interesting and unique to the franchise. Additionally, the fight scenes were great. Don't get me wrong, but there's this really long one shot take that's just perfect with some visibility issues. But like, yeah, the action does not fail in this movie as well. But yeah, it doesn't get more unrealistic than this because there are just certain scenes in the movie that you would have to think that these people are superhuman, and because the things that they survive is just crazy. It's not even believable at all. So you have to suspend disbelief in that regard. So yeah, and what else? So yeah, props to the cinematographers or the directors or any other person who was involved because the action was good. And like I was saying, it is unrealistic, especially when you learn the time frame of when the extraction occurs. You might know what I'm talking about. It's said pretty early on in the movie, and then it makes you start to wonder if this is even like humanely possible. So yeah, overall, this was like an all right movie, pretty enjoyable. The action was fantastic, and the plot was decent. The acting was kind of mid, and I hope they can make like an interesting and unique story for like the sequels to come. So yeah, that's about it. Peace.